call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Here. Yep. Here. Yep. Minutes of October 11th meeting.
We have the agenda approval.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to add letter E, Communications Committee recommendations.
The action items.
Yep. And I'll move to approve as amended.
I'll support.
The check mark by the agenda. I just moved on. Okay, been moved and supported to accept the agenda as amended. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Approval of the minutes of October 11th.
I have a correction to the minutes. Motion by Zelenak, supported by Clark. It should read motion to approve providing event porta potties and street closure.
I have a problem with that, only because in reviewing the tape, that is not what was said.
Well, I made the motion, Mrs. Clark supported it.
On the videotape from October? Is that what you're talking about, Larry?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Let's see.
What if we move to table acceptance of the minutes until the next meeting so that the videotape can be transcribed or reviewed by all?
Well, we do that.
All right, so moved.
Then moved. Is there a support to?
Well, the only thing I'm seeing the discrepancy of the videotape versus this motion is the wording instead of October 31st. We never did agree really to move it to eliminate October 31st as Halloween. But other than that, we all agreed that we would have Halloween on Saturday, 28th.
But my point is that my words never said that we were closing, right. My motion was to, like we do for car show or 4th of July, close the street, get the porta potties. That was it. There was discussion afterwards, but the motion was merely to approve it like we do the car show or 4th of July.
That's your interpretation of the motion. From my perspective, the flyer that we all had is what we were
Right,
talking
and it
about.
says downtown, and it doesn't say anything about trick or treating
It says-
village-wide throughout.
Trick or treating hours 5 to 8, trunk or
Yeah.
treat 5 to 7
It says spectacular downtown Central Lake.
on Saturday, October 28th. That's what we were talking about.
Right, and to me, I take it as downtown trick or treating from 5 to 8, not village-wide trick or treating on 5 to 8.
Yeah,
But even still, the motion still remains to close like we do for another event.
But it wasn't a change of instead of every Saturday and
We've got a motion on the floor to postpone approval of the meeting so we can all have the transcription from the video from the October 11th meeting provided to us and discussed in our December meeting. I'll take responsibility for not having a clarification of the motion. But from my perspective, we were talking about that sheet. And responding to the request from the Chamber and DDA.
We don't have, the chamber nor the DDA ever came to this board or had in one of their meetings minutes that said they wanted to change or do any trick-or-treating village-wide. There's nothing from those groups documented at their board meetings that says they wanted to have trick-or-treating in the entire village on the 28th.
Who made that flyer?
I'm not sure.
Sponsored by Central Lake Downtown Development Authority and the Central Lake Chamber of Commerce.
I don't know who made the flyer.
Huh?
Sherry came to me and then I came to you, remember? Same day,
Who shared it?
the chamber president.
Okay.
Very close.
She wanted to make it an all-day thing and keep people here. And she asked, well, can't we have trick-or-treating to the whole village on the 28th? And Mary's words at the meeting were, just because we've always done something means, doesn't mean we can't change it.
The event on Saturday was presented as a downtown situation based on that flyer. Sherry didn't come to the chamber. The DDA doesn't have it in their minutes that anyone has ever requested to have village-wide trick-or-treat.
So the person we need to talk to is Sherry to find out
Well, I
how
don't want
that
to throw anybody
document
the
was.
bus. All I want to say is that my motion was to approve the event, supply the porta potties, and shut down the street just like we do for 4th of July or car show.
Yeah, you
As
said we
event
have
people,
to,
we don't tell the car show people to start parking their car at 10 or to start the parade at 12. I don't think that it's our responsibility, so to speak, to say that we can change trick-or-treating from Tuesday to Saturday.
Historically, I always remember us at least saying, when it was on the 31st, that we would have it from 5 to 8, so the public understood that we had the time frame to work with.
Right, and Sam would do the donuts and the cider. I recognize that. I'm just saying that this motion, as written, is not the way I presented it, nor Mrs. Clark supported it. So if there's a discrepancy, then we should review the minutes and bring it back.
We got a motion on the floor to do that. Any support?
Yes.
Been moved and supported that we postpone approving October 11th meeting minutes until December 11th after a transcription is provided for all to review. Any further discussions?
well, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
No? Any further discussion?
Well, it's just a discussion to save everybody a lot of time. It starts at the 44:27 mark when Melissa Zelnick says, I just think we should have the Porta Johns and Central Lake, would rather have them there rather than not. I've got the whole transcript here, all the way from 44:27 all the way to 46:31. But I'll let everybody look at it on their own. All right? So,
Sounds good.
We got a motion on the floor. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I'm on the same line.
All right, we've got 2 opposed and 2 for. We'll have to roll call it.
Chapman?
No.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovell?
No.
Patton?
No.
Adams?
yeah,
Zelnick?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes. Moving on. Public comment? Police report?
Thank you.
Hopefully everybody got a chance to look at the report. Pretty typical month. Nothing else to add. Pretty self-explanatory.
Scott was gone for
Yeah,
10
2
days,
weeks.
2 weeks.
Almost, yeah, 2 weeks. So out of that, yeah, I was gone for 2 weeks on vacation.
Any questions from Scott?
Thank you.
Thank you. Sam, DPW?
Everybody should have a copy of the DPW report on there. One thing I want to point out was, number 16, you'll see we picked up 2 deer within the village limits on Rushton Road this month. So I think we had 4 last month. Just be warned, everybody driving at night, deer are moving. You'll see down there, number 19, reported 2 street lights out. That's not our LED lights, that's reporting to consumers' call. And then I got one other comment that's not on this, that I would like you folks to consider looking into something about mailboxes this year for the winter snowplow. More and more people are starting to put mailboxes right up to the very edge of the blacktop, and we have some that actually are hanging over onto the blacktop. First thing's gonna happen when I put the front snowplow on, them mailboxes are gone. And it could be a very expensive winter. And some of the mailboxes they're putting out are them real nice plastic, $70, $80, $90, $100 mailboxes. Maybe it's gonna be an issue with snowplowing this winter.
Sam and I have talked about this with this, I went out and talked to Sherry, post office. And Sherry is supposed to be researching some information for me on setbacks and requirements and everything. And at the point when I talked to her, the only thing she had was the actual heights and size of the mailbox requirement. I said there is an issue because of the location. I mean, they can't set it at the asphalt because Sam's got to plow the streets beyond the asphalt. He's got to do the streets. So Sherry's supposed to be researching it for me and with more input on it. And she was more cooperative. So I think we put some cards or whatever in mailboxes. Tell the people they got to move their mailboxes back. Yeah, they're not going to be happy, but they've still got to follow the regulations. And we are not really responsible for replacing their mailboxes. I mean, because that was Sam's concern. He didn't want to have to go around here and start replacing mailboxes all winter in the spring. And I don't think the village is responsible. But, you know, out of courtesy, at least let them know that they need to move it so Sam can do his job.
Supposed to get up to 6 inches tomorrow, so I'm not sure we can move fast enough.
Well, you know, it's not gonna be an issue till we put the front plow on. Once we put the front plow on, the reason we put the plow on is to move the banks back. Of course, everybody gets upset when you move the banks back. That brings me back to last year, Rob Tyler had brought it up to the board about basketball hoops. Same thing. You got a lot of basketball hoops that are sitting right out because people use the blacktop, the portable ones, and they're still hanging out on the road. And as soon as the plow truck goes by and the mirrors, hook them. So, just kind of want to get the word out. Other than that, been a very busy month for October. Any questions?
But I want to elaborate on that some more. We got the research, Rob Tyler, both here interesting, but should we maybe put something in the newspaper, on Facebook, and notify these people that, you know, and 4 parts of basketball hoops, which is, you know, that's a common thing. That's nothing to do with UPS or the United States Postal Service. But still, you know, let these people know we need to move this stuff back, otherwise it's going to get damaged. So it saved us a lot of headaches down the road if people start coming to us and complaining.
Is there any way we could make a list of who you think is gonna run into that problem?
With, what's that, Larry?
Just a
On
list?
mailboxes?
On mailboxes.
And basketball hoops.
It's gonna be 100 mailboxes on that list. That's how bad it's gotten. And I understand that the cost of a postal box at the post office is going up a yearly fee. So people are saving money by putting their box up. And unfortunately, we're a lazy society. We don't want to shovel out our mailboxes. That's reality. So we're going to get out as close as we can to the road.
post office has volunteered to inform their customers. They would probably allow us to put in a publication that would go to them as well.
So keep this general in the newspaper, not only if you're just more newspaper person, but just at the general. Please make sure your mailboxes are set back. Where'd you find that?
41 to 45 inches.
Yeah.
USPS.
The USPS has a recommendation on their website, probably found it. And,
How far off Blacktop Road?
41 to 45 inches from the road surface to the bottom of the mailbox or point of
That's-
mail entry.
Is that the height?
It says-
That's the height of the
Oh,
mailbox.
sorry, 68 inches from the curb.
curb, if there's no curb,
If there's no curb and gutter, then you're right back into what we're into now.
but still, I mean, I guess that's 6 or 8 inches behind the curb, which most curbs are off of the blacktop anyway.
The curb would typically be 8 inches to a foot off of the edge of the blacktop.
Right.
So if
So
you
we're looking at a
just
foot
go
from
from the edge of the blacktop and keep it back.
You can contact the road commission too. And talk
You know,
to
when
Bert
you're-
about the
I don't know.
Yeah.
When you,
It would be the same guidelines.
But even with that though, I mean, because I don't think even, because I know the county trucks tear out mailboxes all the time. And they don't, and trust me, I know they probably don't go around and replace mailboxes.
No, they don't.
But I will-
Bert would know the regs for
Yeah, I will
sure as
talk.
to how far is proper.
Yeah.
We can't do something.
But, you know, you just, I mean, I understand Sam's concern, he doesn't want to be responsible, and he doesn't want to be tearing out mailboxes, but he's got a job to do, he's doing a good job of it.
People complain, say it's easy to call.
If Sherry's willing to put a,
Flyers, something in the mailbox.
Yeah, that, a lot of people want.
I'll say something to Sherry, so.
I think we would get more exposure that way.
Not everybody reads the newspaper, not everybody's on Facebook, not everybody knows where they do get together. Okay, thanks, Sam.
Anything else for Sam?
thank you.
Thank you. Sam's going on vacation Friday for 2 weeks.
No worries.
What a shame.
Let everybody know.
Slow it down.
That's time to do it, Sam.
Hope I get lost in the UP.
EDA Corey's not here, correspondence, I'm gonna hold that off until my report. Committee reports, Lyle, street sidewalks.
Really, what Sam just covered, we pretty much where we're at. So, I guess.
Leland, sewer and water,
Nothing new.
Bill, law enforcement.
Nothing other than thanks to the part-time John, he did a very good job of covering from the chief was gone. If there's anything else he did. Nice job. Other than that,
Melissa,
My info is on letter E, but you can see the minutes from our meeting that Rob and Leila and I had today. So I'll wait until action items.
okay. Finance personnel, Brian.
Rachel said that we've gotten most of our money in from the state for the water project. We still got, what, 50,000 to go? Something like that. But we've got a good share of it in, so it's finally coming. That's all I have, thank you.
Rob,
In front of you, you've got the camera information. It's many pages long, I'm not going to go over everything. But we're going to get something along that line, whether it's that exact system because it constantly changes. But that's what we're looking at. So the camera and the DVR is $529.99, lower left-hand corner of the first page. 6th page is the omnidirectional wireless range extender antenna for $89.99. 19-inch color monitor, $44.99. A shelf with 2 brackets is $15. Grand total $679.97. So right around $1,000, we're gonna get a system something like that. And then, let's see.
Dan, does it say the temperature, how low the temperature?
Yeah, like page 4, I believe it is. It's in there. Like 6, I'm sorry. And then, Melissa, you had a question. Page.
Page. It's on the page.
Page 6. It says here 14 degrees.
Yep. So we're gonna get something along those lines. The last system we looked at, the low temperature was a little hardier. But Scott, I, and Rachel have to sit down in the spring and figure that out a little bit better. Because like I said, these systems are changing all the time, but the basic camera and the 2 terabyte DVR stays about the same. Melissa, you said you called the Village of Bel Air and they turned them off, I think because the liability issue, who is on the hook for something like that?
Right.
If it isn't recorded, that's your exact statement. We called Brian Graham. No expectation of privacy. We had a meeting with Bill Gollinger. Thursday, October 12th at 11 a.m. And he doesn't ever remember the cameras in the Bel Air being down. I don't know where he did not know.
It might have been, I don't know how long Bill's been there, but this was when Janet Cock was still
So-
still working there, and she couldn't get on here sometimes, so it might have been pre-Bill or something.
So I'm going to turn it over to Scott because he actually is the one that talked to Brian. As oddly as it was, we were having our meeting with Bill and the phone rang and it was Brian Graham. So he spoke to Brian. So I'm going to turn it over to Brian. You can also talk about the meeting with Bill.
Brian said there is no expectation of privacy, just like if you were walking to the gas station. He did recommend that we did put some signs up to remind people that they are being recorded, just as a courtesy. Bill Gollinger said that they love theirs camera system. Theirs is not as nice as this one. Theirs has to be, you have to go up into their attic and pull some stuff out all the time, which would be kind of cumbersome for us to do with the layout that we have. By going with the system that we have here, we can access it not only down at the campground bathhouses, but we also access it on the phone or in the office and stuff like that, so it makes it a lot user-friendly. The other thing I didn't know, Rob, is did we talk about the number of cameras?
Well, I'm going to leave that out because those cameras can be added, deleted, and fisheye lens.
Well, that would be the only thing that would change somewhere down the road when we actually implemented this.
But this
How
price
many-
includes 4.
What's that?
Yeah.
This price includes 4.
We had talked about, realistically, it'd be nice to be somewhere close to 6 to 10 probably.
But-
It might be a little more cost.
Well, the camera heads are not that much, and if we bought the system that would incorporate it, I don't think we'd have any problem later on adding it to it and stuff.
Where does the monitor get set up?
In our new bathhouse, actually, it's actually pretty slick. The hallway that actually divides the new part from the old part, unless you've ever been there, probably doesn't make much sense, but when you open that door, there's plenty of room to put a shelf in there, there's power in there. I'm not sure if we have to do anything with heat or whatever, but obviously we're gonna do, if they don't turn off the water, there's gonna be at least a little bit of heat there or something like that. Again, that way we can just open that door, look right at the monitor or whatever, or I can just sit in my office and pull it up, or even on my cell phone, with the passcode and stuff like that, so it's really user-friendly. Bel Air has to crawl up into an attic, pull a drive out, and then be able to run that back to their office and either review it, record it, or whatever they want to do.
That hallway's locked, right? So
Right.
that hallway's locked, so only
Correct.
our personnel has access.
Theirs is a little bit cheaper system, and the reason why they went with a little bit cheaper system is that they can put multiple units in different spots where they necessarily don't have, how do you explain that? He had
There
two
was
units that were.
Hardwired. Ours is not going to be hardwired.
Correct, ours is wireless, that's the
Will it
difference.
still work? Is it the receiver that's going in the little hall
That's
closet
it,
area?
receiver
Will
and
it
the
still
monitor.
work if it's enclosed?
Yeah.
And Kenny Graham brought his over, and we just kind of played around with it unofficially. And we could get really good reception without even a booster, which was, the fact that the $80 booster will be priceless as far as getting around the brick buildings and even getting a little bit further. With, I think, 8 to 10 cameras, we could pretty much watch everything in Ella Park, including the new docks, the bridge, we can watch boat launch, we can watch it, go to the new boardwalk. There's a lot of things that we can watch and, do a really good job. And like Rob said, depending on the type of camera, whether it's a fisheye or whether it's a regular camera, it'll just give us good signals and stuff like that.
But you get also the same thing on the recorder in your phone?
It's all wireless, so, as we are talking here, if we had it rolling, I could actually punch in, look at it, and I can show you what's happening at the park right now. So I could be anywhere in the state,
Can we put it online? I mean, wouldn't that be cool if a camper could look at the cameras
I
and
would
see if
say
the
no.
weather's nice and...
for security purposes, then they know where exactly where our cameras are viewing and
Yeah.
where the hidden spots are and
Well, the dead spots.
what the dead spots.
Well, there's some communities that do that for winter activities.
Well, I mean, out of those 10 cameras, if you wanted to view one of them or two.
Yeah, overlooking the lake or
That's what I'm
something.
saying,
Can we isolate one camera to do that publicly?
Sure. I think we have enough, especially with the shooters, we could do that as more of a PR type thing. But I would give access to the public on all 10 of our cameras.
So one aimed at the lake. I know the Bel Air did that out their window, but kind of looking at rookies and shorts. It was cool.
And then there was another consideration about the cost. Sam and I went into the pavilion, nosed around the attic and everything, and he's very confident that we could do that ourselves, because we've already got 110 there that we would not need an electrician or anything, because those cameras just plug into an outlet, and then they're wireless, and then the signal shot over to the bathrooms. So that is
And our only concern was to wire them so that they could be tampered with. So if obviously somebody went up and yanked the cord out, makes the price.
let's see.
So it comes out of Parks One?
That would come out of capital improvements 101-756-9750.
Next year's budget.
Next year's budget. The next thing, the white docks we had brought up. I had a meeting with Dylan Summer from Summer Solutions on October 20th at 9 a.m. They walked out there in their waders at the south side between the boat launch and the Stembeck property to the south. They're very confident that they can put 3 sections out at 10 feet long, and then another 2 sections to the north of that. And they charge $50 a section, so that would be $250 in, $250 out. I called Lyle on the phone, and he was very positive about possibly making it private and charging campers $3 a night or some monetary fee to use these white docks. And we were just talking about it, and that's where we're at on that one. So in the springtime, I'll have to look into making sure that we have all winter to talk about this, but just put it in your brain a little bit that putting those 2 sections, I should say 5 total sections, and if we do indeed want to charge campers to use those, and we put a sign on each of the docks that say private docks for camper use only, inquire with the manager about availability. Something along those lines. And Lyle would monitor who's parking their boats there, and like you said last month, if it gets to be a giant headache and there's altercation, just pull the docks. We tried it. And we already have money allocated for that already in the 101 account. We already have $800 already there, so the money's already there.
For some reason it's a bust. Can we sell those docks? Is that what would happen with them, or try to use
Yeah,
them somewhere
I'm
else?
sure we could sell them, I'm sure, but for right now, I'd like to get more
Try to
docks
use
and more
them.
boats and that
Right.
sort of thing down there. Let's see. October revenues for the campground. October was good. 7,424 versus 2016, $1,444. So we had an increase from last year of 41%. So
What was last year's fee?
$1,440 was all.
This year's was 7,000.
$7,420.
That's more
For
than
October?
40%.
So,
That's more than 40%.
Yeah, it's like,
About 400%.
oh, this, how about 415?
All right, that works.
Whoopsie daisy.
what caused
There
it to
you go.
from,
Decimal place,
what was it last year?
Nice weather.
$1,400.
The weather is what caused it.
$7,400 this year?
The weather is what caused it.
$6,000.
Let's see. Overall revenue for this year in the campground, $82,000. 2016 was $72,075. And then I went back as far as 2014. And our revenue in 2014, just to give you an idea, was $57,720. So in 4 years, we're at a 42% increase. So we're moving right along. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
What about the bench?
Oh, Jennifer Hodges, the bench.
That's all I came for.
Yep, thanks.
Your wonderful salesman, Mr. Tyler, hit me out for more in kind. No, what I printed off in front of you is a concept that he had presented, and again, it's always been an absolute pleasure working with you guys, and look forward to keep working with you. And so what we would like to do, GFA would like to have the ability to purchase this bench for the village, and then you guys can install it wherever you want. And I guess what I was looking for is some council approval tonight on what we had proposed to have inlaid on the back of the bench, rather than having a label put on it. This is just going to be cut into the back of the board. And the bench has a 50-year life expectancy, so you're going to see GFA for 50 years. Keeping that in mind. But we have not ordered it yet, but pending tonight, if you guys had any comments or feedback on color or framing, but basically it's going to include the entire bench, including the mounting kit. So, and it will be delivered to Sam.
Anybody have any questions, comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure, thank you. So I take that as no, it's good to order?
It's good to order. I will take that as. My report, we have some correspondence announced. Janet Koch was the deputy administrator for the county planning department. She is now Sarah Christensen's replacement for Northern Lakes Economic Alliance. And she'll be working with us. I don't know, I don't remember, I don't think I did announce last meeting that NLEA hired our person for implementing our grant work for the Rising Tide. And I have not met her yet, but Janet was in the office today and told Rachel that she'll probably start sometime December and maybe not until January. So that's our Vista worker. So that's a good thing. And I'm sure Janet's gonna,
Sorry, what is this Vista worker schedule start?
probably in January by the sounds of it. We're gonna run into the holidays and all of that.
Okay.
I think she gets hired November 27th, but they'll orient her to what she's gonna be doing and have, she is NLEA's employee, but she's designated to work with us more than anybody else. I think it's kind of what it is. I did announce last meeting that the county is doing their 5-year plan on the master plan. If you would like to access that, read through it and comment. go to the county website, and you should be able to find the master plan on that. You have until, if I counted the days right, a week from Friday, on the 17th, to get any comments into it. They will have a meeting in December at some point where they'll be talking about this, and you're welcome to attend. The Antrim Conservation District has an annual meeting Monday, November 13th, next Monday, 7 p.m. We welcome you to celebrate the successes of 2017 and hear about the things to come in 2018. That's at the Mansalona Township Hall. There's a dessert bar with coffee and tea, 7 to 9 p.m. on Monday the 13th. We received a thank you letter from Caddo Antrim, Dina Jerdy. Through this event, we raised over $19,000 to help support our mission to protect our water resources. A portion of this will be used to continue our Ripple Effect mini grant program, which we award twice a year to local government entities and nonprofits for projects related to stewardship, education, and increasing accessibility. Through this program, we've awarded over $12,000 in 2 years to great local projects. On Thursday, November 9th, tomorrow at Schoolcraft College in Livonia, the Michigan Treasury Department is having a seminar regarding using the Michigan Treasury online. It's a free online resource providing taxpayers access to Treasury business accounts anytime, anywhere. You can use MTO to file tax returns, pay taxes, manage your business registration. The MTO Outreach Seminar is perfect for anyone remitting business taxes in Michigan. Whether you are a new business owner or a seasoned tax professional, come see all that MTO offers to simply your reporting process. I doubt if anybody's going to drive down there, but it's online. If somebody cares to pursue it, that can happen. The Central Lake Chamber of Commerce. Next meeting is Tuesday, November 14th. It is at the library at 6:45. And they will be selecting dates at next year's events. Looks like that was discussed window night that's coming up, and other things. So everybody's so online. That's Tuesday the 14th at 6:45. And we have budgeted for Ron Donaldson's retirement. Last year we spent $7,000. We budgeted $7,000 for this year. Ron gave us a letter today. They qualified for some Medicare monies, so they're only going to be asking us for $5,000 this year instead of $7,000. So we saved a couple of grand in our budget this year. So it's not something that we have to approve because it was budgeted for and we paid. That's all that I have, unless somebody has some questions for me.
Just bring out a highlight in the chamber report. The DDA is bringing reindeer to town for winter night, real reindeer. And that's pictures, just come out and pictures taken of them, items, them.
Sure.
I know, so we had this conversation earlier.
Rudolph gonna be there?
Approval of the bills, prepaids for $24,851.55, payroll $6,414.98, payables $9,194.93 for a total of $40,461.46. Motion to approve.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported. Any questions? Roll call.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Better?
Yep.
Stoneman?
No,
Yes. No new business, we'll move on to action items. Resolution number 2, budget amendment. We do this a couple times a year usually to make sure by the end of the year we've balanced our budget. So, we have received miscellaneous income and police revenue that we didn't expect. Total of $18,000, those first two items. And then we had expenses higher than we anticipated, the auditor of $5,000. Day park, and community miscellaneous. Those 4 expenses are coming out of the income that we receive, so we're okay that way. We have 15,000 going into, from our fund balance, that's in the 202 account, and it's spent through contracted services. We had expenses of 4,000, which was already in the budget. 3,500 was sewer installation, which was expected and in the budget. And sewer contracted services of 3,200. There again, 15 were, those monies were already there. We're just indicating that they were spent and added. Grant revenue that we anticipated but wasn't recorded is now recorded at 600,000. With expenses of 112 and 560, those are grant related expenses. So, need a motion to approve resolution 2 with amendments to the budget.
so moved.
Been moved and supported.
You support it, no?
Go. I'm moving money here, is spending money. We'll do a roll call. There's no-
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Better?
Yep.
Stoneman?
Yes.
Yes. Motion has passed. Final payments to Tri-County, $55,857.80 for the ice grant. That is the water main replacement. Not the campground, just so everybody's aware. I suspect that we are obligated to pay them.
I'll make a motion to approve the final payment to Tri-County.
And moved, supported by Chapman. We are spending money. Roll call.
Chapman? Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Better? Stoneman?
Yes.
Yes. Item C, invoices from Gordy Frazier. I'm sure we're obligated to pay those too. But we're getting back 500 minutes.
Take it back.
Got a motion by Chapman to pay the invoice from Gordy Frazier, $3,510.
I'll support it.
Been moved, supported by Patton. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Chapman?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Lovelace?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Better?
Yep.
Stoneman?
Yes.
Yes. application for a sewer study. We talked about it last meeting, but we officially are acting upon it tonight. Jennifer, would you like to elaborate what that's going to entail?
Sure. Basically, just like we do with the water project, continue to be on the lookout for grants. And yes, this is one that we've talked about at several council meetings in the past and has now publicly become available. I tried to summarize it in a memo, and then along with it, just include a simple fact sheet that they provide. So basically, the intent is they targeted certain communities, low income, population, rural communities, 60,000 population or less. And it's a grant. It's not through the USDA, but it's through the Michigan Department of Agriculture. So it's intended to target communities that want to improve their workforce or enhance infrastructure, entice tourism. And so there's quite a laundry list of communities that have received this grant. For instance, like Mammoth Distillery would be one that they could actually apply for if they wanted to expand the facility. The Village of Ellsworth they were last year recipient to do the same thing, to do a sewer feasibility study, although we're looking at a new system. So this definitely, so it kind of covers the whole gamut of components. But definitely a good opportunity for you guys to apply for. We've not had a pretty good success rate thus far with achieving grants, and especially here as you guys are looking at different customer base, and your current system is, I guess for intensive purposes, it's a drain field system, which is pretty, as Sam will attribute to as archaic. It's pretty close to its capacity. It's definitely at its age of limitation. You guys have definitely done a great job of maintaining it, but this stuff only has a certain life expectancy to it. And so a lot of times what we do to help everybody make the best decision is it's a feasibility study for all intents and purposes. We take a look at your current growth, or your current infrastructure, your projected 20-year growth, your needs, get input from you guys, and then there's an array of different treatment options that you can go with. We could potentially keep the same system we have. Look at going with the boom system. We look at different options, and then with that we pull together different costs associated with it. We look at long-term maintenance that's going to be invested with it. What we have right now is pretty low maintenance. But if you want, let's say, like a mechanical plant, you're definitely going to increase your labor force that you would do. So we look at that. We look at how it could affect your user rates. So there's a lot of different things that we look at to help present that results to a list of pros and cons so you guys can make the best decision moving forward of what you want to do. And, the different ways that you want to accommodate. If you have a different facility come in that has potentially, high VOD, or, they don't want to have a holding tank for solids. I mean, you guys, if you want to entertain addressing that, it obviously entails change to your collection system, but those are some of the things that we would discuss, and that would be included in that report. But what we're asking, but that report would be costly, but how the report is written is written so that it would allow you the ability to apply for like the USDA donor grants, because they have certain protocols and criteria that they want this report written. So it would be written in that type of format so that you would take it to the next step, to take it to fruition if you wanted to actually build something. So that's the intent. But what this memo entails, and what I'm asking for right now, is the ability to just apply for the grant so that we can get a grant to do the report, if that makes sense. So to apply for the grant, it would require some explanation of the existing system, which we have a lot of that in-house because we were continuing to do the discharge from that money to SAM every 5 years. So we have a lot of that information available. It would be required illustrations, an explanation of the system. So there's some time involved with the grant itself, because obviously there's no free money. But just like just like the water main grant we went after, there's a little bit of time involved in that. But so it's not actually to do the report itself, but it's to allow us the ability to apply for money so that we have it. We're looking at, if I had to just ballpark, before I get into it, the report itself is probably $25,000 to $30,000 to do a full report that will provide you all the information you need to move forward when you guys are at that point. So this grant would cover 70% of that. So it is a good opportunity. I don't know if anyone has any other specific questions.
So the $1,800 is just to apply for it?
Correct.
Your time to write the grant.
Correct. And usually what I like to do is, it's kind of an invoicing thing and the time you pay, but a lot of times, assuming you end up getting the grant, that money would then be, because there's legwork to do the application itself, and a lot of that legwork can then be applied to the grant itself, so we would include that in the report costs, because there's some front ends that you have to do. So that would be the goal with that, but no, I mean, there's no guarantee. It has to be submitted by January 16th. We'll find out in May, and then there's a 2-year time period, but to do the report itself, I would anticipate before next year to be done. But this will provide you a good resource, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't obligate you to move forward with the project, but it provides you the resource and a report so that, it starts that discussion.
So we'll have the data in place, so that way, if we don't necessarily get this grant, we can have this information, this front-end information for another grant process.
Correct, yeah, because they do this one, there's a lot of these grants, because of asset management is getting to be so popular now, and there's such an emphasis, we're starting to see a lot of these grants come about. And, as I talked with Larry, and, you guys were pursuing the ICE grant, I talked with our MEDC gentleman, Lewis, and they're coming out with that again, and that's to actually construct a project, and the thing is, with the ICE grant, they're gonna wanna see something like this to be eligible to apply for the ICE grant. So this report is very helpful it's a lot like the master plan that you guys adopt. It helps you move forward to apply for a loan or grant to construct a project in the future.
As close as we are to the lakes, I'm inclined to think this is a necessity.
Right, absolutely.
It's gotta be taken care of before it gets so bad that we have results that we don't want.
Well, and that's where Ellsworth's at. They see, that was the reason why they went out for the grants, is they see Central Lake thriving, and you guys have water and sewer infrastructure, and so that's kind of their goal, is to get away from everybody who only takes their drain fields, is to have a community-wide sewer system, so that's what they're doing for these sectors. So they're doing the same thing.
I'd be more than willing to make the.
Jennifer, is this the only, the sewer study out of this $100,000, is that the only thing the village could use it for?
No,
Is there other things that we might use it for? Is it a $100,000 limit, or?
there's a
we
limit,
can-
yeah, it's a $100,000 limit per community. Most of the communities that I saw that were recipients, and I can send you an example of what some of the other, a lot of them were businesses or, DBAs or, things like
So if
that.
the village used 90,000, there'd be 10 left over for Mary.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, it's per entity. It's
Okay.
not per
Okay.
community.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be per.
Everybody applies on their own.
Yeah, right, they would have to
So if
apply.
10 people in Central Lake applied, they'd be $1 million.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll support Leo's motion.
A motion to approve, go for this grant for the application. I don't know how to word it, but
Starting the application.
Approve expenditure of up to $1,800 for sewer feasibility grant study.
that would be good, thank you.
I'll support.
Okay, been moved and supported, support our effort to create a sewer feasibility study.
Getting there.
We're getting there. Any further discussion?
It's not that good of word sometimes.
Roll call?
Chapman? Clark?
Yes.
Douglas?
Yes.
Patton?
Yes.
Better? Zelenak?
Yes.
Thank you.
Communications Committee recommendations, thank you.
You have our minutes before you. Rob, Leela, and I met this afternoon. We had 3 short things. In bold, council meeting minutes, publishing procedure and news publication, motion by Clark, second by Zelenak, to authorize the village clerk to publish only approved council meeting minutes in any newspaper publication. The second one, council meetings posted to website or public places marked draft until approved. And the third one, recording motions at council meetings. I don't remember when it was, I think if it was when Walt Russell was going out or Kenny was coming in, then at one time Kenny Cruzy presented a written form where people could write their motion and make sure that the motion was what they meant it to be. You still have that? Okay, cool. So that's one of the things we'd like to bring back, just to make
The
sure
only
that
objection
everything
that I
is.
have is that you write your own motion and read it out loud. And then
Yeah,
hand it
that's-
to me when the meeting's over.
Right, right. I think that's fine. I think that's great. So with that said, the first motion, council meeting minutes published in a news publication. Motion by Clark, second by Zelenak, to authorize the village clerk to publish only approved council meeting minutes in any newspaper publication. I'd like to make that motion right now.
Any support?
So this is saying that we don't publish draft minutes in the newspaper. It's saying that after this group of 7 council people look at it, then it goes in the newspaper. The county, other townships, other villages, when they post their minutes, they're approved minutes, not draft copies. The county publishes on their website draft minutes, but they're clearly marked draft in big bold letters so that everybody knows what they're draft. And then lastly, as Rachel just suggested, we can bring back that form to make sure motions are clarified before we all leave this building.
A motion on the floor, any support?
I got a question.
Okay.
So when our minutes are published in the newspaper, what we're saying is they're gonna be a month behind?
Exactly.
If we put them in the newspaper, they should say draft then. If we're,
The
people
motion is,
could go.
the motion is not saying that, Joe, the motion is
Oh, I
saying-
know, I know, that's what,
Okay.
I would prefer what we publish. Firstly, we're not obligated to print minutes in the newspaper. That's number one, we've talked about that before, I'm gonna bring it up. We are not obligated to do that. But if we don't, I suspect the public will be upset. Now, people can go to Rachel and get a copy of the minutes as a draft within X number of days and be compliant with the Open Meetings Act. What I'm saying, what's going out to the whole county essentially should be minutes that these 7 people have approved. If we don't do that, then the minutes that go in need to clearly say that these are draft minutes, not anything more. So I'll rescind the motion, but I want it to be stated, if we're gonna publish it in the paper, if they're draft minutes, they should say draft minutes. If they're approved minutes, they should say approved minutes.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor that states we are not to publish. Okay, so she rescinded that, I'm trying to get clarification here. So you rescinded that motion. Are you saying then we can proceed to publish them as long as they are draft and not final approved?
If the goal of this council is to get the minutes in the newspaper as soon as possible, then that would be going as draft minutes. And if we mark draft on the minutes that goes to the newspaper, that's great. I can compromise, that's fine. So with that said, I'll make a motion that any minutes going in the newspaper need to be marked as draft
Unless
they have been approved.
I will support that.
Question. Then are we gonna publish them as soon as they're approved, so then we have to pay to publish it?
No, why would we do it again?
We can put the approved one online.
Right.
we're
The
gonna
question is,
publish once. So-
right, and here's my thinking. If people are really that interested in the minutes,
She just wants to add
they're gonna come and get them here from Rachel, or they're gonna look online where there should also be marked draft until such time they're approved.
So all you want to do is add draft to the. Right.
So that we know,
Publication.
right,
That way they can be submitted the week following our meetings
Right.
as opposed to
right.
waiting a month. Which I think is a very good idea.
And with